Hello, work life warriors. I hope you're doing well. Today, I just wanted to stop past and do another book report on my weekly book. And today's book is, or this week's book is, Rebels and Devils. So, yes, this was my week's book. It's about 415 pages. Right now, I'm on about page 325. It's a very interesting read. It's more about rebels than devils. So far, it was only a couple of things in there that was a little strange or weird. I don't necessarily agree with murder, but that was the extent of it. I didn't really see anything outside of that so far that was too devilish. But it's really a book about rebels, and what I so far have gotten from the book is that it's about to love something, and that something has to be life. Right now, we live in a society where we're taught to love a lot of things. We're taught to mistreat people and love things. A lot of us treat our things better than we treat the people in our lives. A lot of people show up to pursue a goal more than we show up for the people in our lives. And that includes ourselves. We may show up for other people and other things, and we do not show up for ourselves. And so the theme of this book is to love life and to be a student of life and to practice pursuing a better quality of life. Practice being a better person, or being the person that you want to be, regardless of how it benefits or doesn't benefit society. It's not about society. It's about benefiting yourself and mastering yourself and growing and developing. And so one of the things in the book that they kind of just talk about is like just love, but from a different viewpoint of what we're taught love is. And so to love something, you must see it, you must understand it, and you must appreciate it. And then you must reconcile it, the beauty in the ugly, the light in the dark. And so in life, we tend to not like the ugly or the shadow side of things. We only want to see the beauty of it. And it's in blocking out the darkness or the shadow that we block our own beauty or our own light. You cannot have one without the other, and you cannot claim to love life if you are not reconciling the two, if you are not reconciling both the light and the dark, or the beauty in the ugly. We tend in society to only walk towards things that feel good, or what we consider light. And we love these light, these things that produce light in us and in others, but we tend to demonize or shun the things that produce shadow. We don't like imperfection. We don't like weaknesses. And so we tend to try to stay away from that, so much so that we don't even do our work that we're supposed to do, our life work. We don't work on ourselves. We will run away from ourselves. We will do anything but the pain of sitting down and working on ourselves, because the shadow side, or knowing the shadow side, is not deemed valuable. It's not deemed something that is necessary to be fulfilled, to be whole, to be a wholehearted human being, when I believe it's absolutely necessary. Just like you want to feel all the positive and loving things in your life, you also want to feel the things that you don't deem so positive or don't feel so well to you, because those things is what makes the positive things or the light things so pleasurable, because you know what it feels like not to feel that pleasure. And so your shadow is not necessarily a bad thing. It's the things that you must understand well in order to reconcile your whole being, in order to up-level your weaknesses, in order to see yourself fully. Instead of just looking at half of yourself, you get to see yourself in whole. And in life, you have to take the good with the bad. You have to take the life with the death. You have to be able to reconcile that in order to live, you must die. And you cannot run away from your shadow, because running away from the fact that you are dying, or that to live means that you are going to die, means that you do not take advantage of fully living. Until you can reconcile that you are born and you are going to die, you don't begin to live. And so you must acknowledge your shadow. You must acknowledge your human shortcomings. You must acknowledge your weaknesses. You must acknowledge your humanity and your humility and all of these things that society deem weak. You, for your own benefit, for your own happiness, you must know yourself. You must know thyself. You must go inside and understand the things that make you, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it, the beautiful. You must understand it. You must understand it better than anyone else, because then you can utilize it. Shadow work is also your creative side, is born of creation. And when you think of creativity, we think of it as arts and crafts or creating something new. But creation also sits as far as like fertility. So when you are bringing a new a life into this world, the process is creation. And so you can use that creative energy in life, which is, again, it's kind of like a shadow energy to create. We most of the time we don't procreate in the light time. We do it in the dark time for a reason. So again, it's a shadow energy, and it is nothing wrong with being both the created and the creator. And being the creator is dabbling on your shadow side, especially in the environment that we live in, because we're taught that you are, the created, and you're not worthy of being a creator outside of just procreating. And so shadow work is stepping into that. You can create your own reality. You can create the life you want. You could, create the person you want to be. You can do the work to reconcile the things that you consider weaknesses, or the things that you consider that takes away from who you want to be or who you hope to be. Shadow work is how you strengthen yourself, how you shine light on the things that seem so scary and take its power away. Therefore, it can be managed. And so, again, I like to say that life is suffering. Life is beautiful. So life is suffering beautifully. And if you can find a way, and what I mean when I say life is suffering is, there is no way that you can run away from the bad. I know we like to try to block out the pain, or do resist things or reject things that bring us pain. But in the pain is where we grow the most. When our back is pushed against the wall is when we grow the most. When we have no other option is when we grow the most. And so the pain is not something that you can run from. And life itself is suffering. When you think about all that it took for you to get here, or all that your mom had to go through when you were in her belly, how her body was changing and transforming, and it wasn't all good. It didn't always feel good. It was suffering. Even how you were brought into this world was very violent. You're ripped into this world, and that is it's suffering for a mom to give birth to you. It's suffering, it's growing pain as you are going through life, trying to figure out, who you are and what you want to do and what value you want to do, add into the world. There's suffering. It's suffering when you learn to love, when you have friends. There's suffering in life. Life guarantees to bring you suffering. But life is also beautiful. There's so many beautiful things among the suffering. Beautiful things come. Yes, mom had to suffer 9 months to, to nurture you in her womb, and then it was suffering to birth you into the world, but then it was so beautiful to hold you in her arms, to nurture you, to watch you grow. Life has both good and bad, ups and downs, light and shadow. It is suffering and it's beautiful. The best thing that you can do among the suffering, which is to live is to suffer, is to find beauty in the suffering, to suffer with grace, to suffer beautifully, to find beauty in all the suffering, to be grateful for this experience, to reconcile the good and the bad. It's what Nietzsche calls amor fati, which is not wanting to change any aspect of your life, loving the bad as much as you love the good. And I think that when you decide to move towards reconciling both the light and shadow is when life can begin. It is when you decide to choose to live and not just exist. And there was this quote that he said in the book. It came out of the essay The Black Art of Psychotherapy by Dr. Jack S. Willis. And I just want to read you one of the paragraphs that he said that relates to this. Intellectual integrity should be a part of your art. A man of intellectual integrity does not attempt to fake reality. What is. It is not subject to our fantasies, our wishes, our ideals. It is not pretty or ugly. It is not noble or ignoble. It is not heroic or cowardly. It simply is. As honesty is telling the truth to others, so integrity is telling the truth to ourselves. It is much harder. We know we are lying to someone else, but the lies we tell ourselves are the lies we live by. They are part of our very being. They are coercive. So when I think about this passage, it just makes me think about, again, integrity in life. If you do not decide to reconcile both the light and the shadow, then you have not reconciled what is. So when it says a man does not attempt to fake reality, when you are denying that the bad comes with the good, or you only want the good and try to reject the bad, you are not living in reality. You are living in a fake reality. When you want to just be happy without the suffering, that is not living, it is existing, and existing is a fake reality. You are born to live, not just to exist, and so it is a fake reality. When you think of life in terms of good or bad, and I could separate the two, then it's like taking water, adding Kool-Aid and sugar. It's watering down an authentic experience. And learning to reconcile life being what it is, and I like to add what you make it, is what we're talking about. It's the reconciliation of light and shadow that can make you live a wholehearted life. It makes you a well-rounded individual, a well-rounded person. And so we can't just continue to just pursue what only feels good to us. We also have to do the hard work and reconcile what doesn't feel so good to us. Therefore, we're not living in a fake or alternate reality thinking that you or your life or what you produce or what you add to this world is better than it really is. It's, again, what he called a fake reality. And when we talk about integrity, integrity is doing what you must do for yourself, even if that means that you will be punished by the outside world. And we know that until you reconcile while you're here and pick a mission, and pick your values, then you are following the values and the mission of either the corporation that you work for or the values that were given to you through the three big institutions, which are family, school, and work. And so it is your responsibility to pick, or to reconcile while you're here and pick what you want to do while you're here and who you want to be while you're here. And so It's not a matter of like if that person you want to be or what you want to do, if the world likes it or doesn't like it, you still do it anyway. That's what integrity is, because it's being loyal and honest and truthful and valuable to yourself before other people. And so when it says accept that you are what you are, not what you want to be, and most of all, the determination to accept that the losses of your no, in the wrong paragraph. When it says, when we know we are lying to someone else, but the lies we tell ourselves are the lies we live by, which is, again, trying to ignore your shadow side, which if you think of yourself as a coin, there's two sides to the coin. We like to just keep it on heads, which may be the light, but there's a tail, and that's your shadow side. So keep denying that to the world is really denying yourself. And when you are more authentic to yourself and choose integrity to yourself, that's when life begins for you. That's when you begin to reconcile your life, your light and your shadow, and you can begin to truly live. You can begin to accept the life that you live and improve its quality. And when they say the lies that we tell ourselves or the lies that we live is whether you do or you don't, it's up to you. Whether you are or you aren't, it's up to you. You have the power to be and do whatever it is that you deem fit. So in addition to being accountable for what you do, you also accountable for what you don't do. So whoever you don't become is also your responsibility. It's not a matter of just sitting around existing, waiting for life to happen to you. It's a matter of accepting life and flowing with it. And in the meantime, doing your part to work and grow and develop and reconcile these experiences that you're having. And again, what I realize is a lot of the rebellion that is deemed unacceptable in society is just you coming into yourself. It's just you figuring out what you value and what works for you and what will serve your life, even if your family and friends or your job or your manager or anyone in your life wouldn't improve. You're doing what's best for you. And so, yes, I hope that this helps. Tell me how you reconcile in your life. Tell me what you think about the light and shadow and reconciling the two. Tell me what you think about rebellion. What is rebellion to you? Is it a matter of when people say you're rebellious, is it a matter of you choosing to be loyal to yourself over other people? Is it a matter of you choosing or serving yourself over other people? Or is it a matter of you choosing yourself first in order for you to serve others better? Or is it just plain selfishness? Is a rebellious person selfish? Please share with me what you think. If you read this book, tell me what you think about the idea of dabbling in your shadow side and understanding it and reconciling your weaknesses so that you're able to, be and operate as a more well-rounded individual. So I hope that helps, work-life warriors. Please share your comments below. Have a great day.